What's up, guys? My name is Papa Minnow, and I'm back to bring you the best bang for your basketball bets in the NBA edition of the Casual Fan Podcast, the hardest working, most accurate, most entertaining sports gambling podcast on YouTube. This is your midweek look at the NBA, where I'll give you guys my picks for Tuesday and Wednesday's games that are surefire bets to win you guys some easy money. Before we start, be sure to like and subscribe to the Casual Fan Podcast. And if you want to thank or berate me about my picks, be sure to follow me on my personal page at pops.culture or at Papa Omeno on Twitter. With that said, let's get into my first picks for Tuesday. Tuesday, we got the Clippers at the Pacers. Both these teams are coming in hot this week. The Clippers have won their last 5 games with a notable win against the Phoenix Suns, whilst the Pacers have also won their last 3, and now they're looking to make it 4. The Pacers have found some rhythm with the return of their all-star Domantas Sabonis, and while he's been struggling with scoring, he still found a way to influence the games in other ways. As for the Clippers, they're trending on the up at the perfect time as the playoffs are soon approaching. Paul George has been on an absolute tear in the last 5 games, averaging 26.8 points and shooting 51% from the floor, with over 30 points in his last 3 games. The addition of Rajon Rondo has really helped the Clippers here. It's made it easier for both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on the offensive end. Rajon Rondo has really done a good job at alleviating the pressure on both those players. And as you see, the Clippers have excelled in the last 5 games with a 5-game win streak. In Rondo's first 2 games, he actually put up a paltry 4 points with 4 assists in 2 games combined. But in his last 2 games, he's found his footing, scoring 25 points and dishing out 15 assists. Based off of how both these teams have been trending with their hot streaks, I think the better value here is probably to go with an over pick going into this game. Now for our next game on Tuesday, we got the Hawks at the Raptors. I think it's time we call it and admit that the Raptors are not making the playoffs this year. It's not the end of the world. I mean, the Raptors have been a bad team for years. It seems more so that this year it's just been more of a fluke with them having to play in Tampa, having guys in and out of the lineup due to injury, and of course getting hit by that COVID bug really hurt them bad. It's more so of bad luck than the team being bad this year, so I wouldn't put any stock into them having to blow it up or make any kind of drastic moves really going forward. On the bright side, they do have a young core that will only seek to get better as the years continue to go on. Their latest acquisition in Gary Trent Jr. looks absolutely solid. Since he's joined the team, he's posted a franchise record plus 54 in a 53-point win against the Warriors, and later on went to drop a career-high 44 points against the Cleveland Cavaliers. At this point, the Raptors are simply a dice roll in terms of performance. Sometimes you'll roll out 1 and be very disappointed. Other nights you might get lucky and start rolling 7. Who knows at this point? But they're coming off of a loss to the New York Knicks, a game in which they had the opportunity to win late. But unfortunately, Siakam blundered the ball with a double dribble, and that ended up costing them the game. For the Hawks, they're absolutely a playoff contender, and they're still looking very hot. They've gone 15-5 in the last 20 games and have posted a 5-2 record so far in April. Clint Capella has been a huge addition for this team, and he's been heating it up as of late. He's averaging 20 points and 13.6 rebounds in April, and an absurd 3 blocks. That is right, I said 3 blocks per game in the last 6. The Hawks have also received contributions from other guys like Bogdan Bogdanovic, who put up 32 points in their last win against the Hornets. So with how well the Hawks have been rolling and the lack of playoff expectations for the Raptors this year, my money is absolutely on the Hawks in this game. They should be good value based off of Toronto's talent, which I think Vegas will rank them highly. So a Hawks pick here should net you some good money. Now for Wednesday's games, we got the Heat at the Nuggets. The Nuggets have managed to leapfrog the Lakers for the 4th seed in the West, and they've gone 8-2 in their last 10. They've been firing on all cylinders, even without their second star Jamal Murray, who's been out with a sore knee. He was questionable for Monday's game, so we'll see if he manages to play Wednesday. This is definitely an important game for both teams in terms of seeding. The 3 to 7 spots in both the East and the West are only separated by a few games. The Heat haven't fully put it together yet since the trade deadline. They're 6-4 in their last 10, but they are 4-1 in their last 5 games. Seeing as it's a back-to-back for the Heat and they do have to travel from Phoenix to Denver, my money here would be on the Nuggets for the money line if Jamal Murray plays. If not, I like my odds on the over bet simply because both these teams are competitive, and I think Vegas will probably factor that into not being a high-scoring game. Lastly, we got one of the biggest games in recent weeks. We got the Nets versus the Sixers. Which team will claim the #1 spot in the East? As of recording, both these teams are 36-17, tied for top spot in the East, and this game will absolutely have huge implications on seeding going into the playoffs. Both these teams have had to deal with injuries to key players, with guys coming in and out of their lineup, but they both seem to be getting healthy at the right time. Embiid is picked off at his MVP level since his knee injury, and Durant dropped an easy 22 points in 24 minutes in his first game back since his calf injury. The supporting cast for both these teams will be very important as well going into this game. This one could go either way, but I'm leaning more towards the Nets if KD is playing in this game. I just don't see anyone on the Philadelphia 76ers being able to guard him. And then you throw in Kyrie Irving, who's just an absolute beast on the offensive end. They just got too many weapons on that Nets team for me to bet against them here. I take them on the spread or the money line, whichever happens to have better value. Considering this is going to be a competitive game with the top two teams in the East, you can get good money and good value on either one of those picks. So let's recap my picks. On Tuesday, I got the over in the Pacers and the Clippers game, and I'll take the Hawks beating the Raptors straight up on the money line. And then on Wednesday, we got the Nuggets beating the Heat, take them on the money line. And in the Nets versus the 76ers, take the Nets on the money line or the spread, depending on which has better odds. That'll do it for my NBA picks for Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you to everyone who watched, liked, and subscribed to the Casual Fan Podcast. Be sure to follow us on all social medias. Once again, you can find me at Pops.Culture on Instagram or at Papa O Minnow on Twitter. Happy betting, and I'll see you guys in the next one.